Hello everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. I'm going to do the first and what I'm hoping is going to be a series that I might do over time, calling this Can We Fix It? In this particular series I plan to take a movie that a lot of people don't like for whatever reason. Whether I like it or not is, kind of beside the point. And we'll see what can we do to make it a better release. Because, well, just got to bring up some info here. Sorry about that. The fact of the matter is there's a lot of stuff, a lot of remakes, which is usually what need fixing as opposed to the originals. But there's stuff that has a good premise or has a good actor or has a good director, but the movie itself falls short. So I'm just gonna say what I think would have made the movie better. So here for episode 1 we're going to start with a doozy. Most definitely. That is, yep, that's right, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I know, this movie has a lot of hate. Some deserved, some not. So we're going to get in on this right now. We're going to start with the pros. The pros of this movie is, at least in my opinion, number 1, Jackie Earle Haley. I thought he did a fabulous job as Freddy Krueger. It was a different take on the character than we'd seen with Robert Englund. But the guy's a powerhouse actor. He just knocked it out of the park. As far as I'm concerned, it was one of the strongest performances as a horror icon of at least any of the new remakes. Friday the 13th, Halloween, everything like that. So that's a definite pro. Now, a second pro would be the glove. As you can no doubt tell, I am a fan of this particular glove. When bought the NECA version, I think it's just got a great look to it, a real homemade feel. It looks like it was made by someone who didn't necessarily have metalworking skills, but put together a nice savage weapon all the same. So that was a definite pro. Also, I loved the stylized credits that started this movie. I thought it was just a really nice-looking set of credits. I'll get to this other credits superimposed over the top in a minute, but the original look, it looks really good. I thought it was pretty sweet. Also, a definite pro was something that was worked in, but not fully realized. The idea that, Freddy might have been innocent. That was a really compelling part of the story. And unfortunately they went kind of off the rails with it, but, I'll get more to that later. Another pro with the micronaps. It was a really interesting premise. I wish it had been explored more, but, what are you gonna do? I mean, we wouldn't be having this discussion if they did, what I'm suggesting. Another thing, the Freddy Krueger makeup, I really liked it. I know a lot of people, were like Fishmouth Freddy or whatever, or Freddy the Frog and stuff like that. I thought it looked really good. It looked quite realistic. You could imagine someone in a burn ward looking like that, so I thought that was pretty good. And the original kills in the movie I also thought were really good. Now let's get on to the cons, and got some doozies here. The characters and the actors, I'm sorry, but y'all suck. Across the board, with the exception of Jackie Earle Haley, I'm sorry. It's just not good. Characters are annoying, and ugh, I'm just disgusted with some of the acting in it. Seriously, so I'm leaving that aside. The second con is the fact that, like I mentioned before, they had the mystery about whether Freddy had actually committed these crimes, which they wrapped up nicely, and yes, he did, and that's it. And he's a child molester. It was too neatly wrapped up. I think it's like, oh, this is it. We'll make him a child molester right off the bat, and everyone knows. Should have kept some mystery there. It could have been a really interesting thing. Again, I'll get more onto that later. Another big con for this movie, it was trying way too hard to be like the original. I'm of the school of thought, if you're going to remake a movie, take the basic premise of that movie and make something completely original. Don't go copying what was, beloved in the first movie. There are scenes that are complete rip-offs, and they feel like complete rip-offs. They don't feel true to what it should be. Again, same thing, some of the rehashed kills, it's just not necessary. And also, I didn't really like that all the dreams seemed very stylized. I get what they were going for, but it took you out of the fear. You're never like, oh, like, is this actually happening or is this a dream? It's like, no, this is a dream. We're quite sure. Okay, so let's get on about how we could fix this. First things first, we'll start right at the beginning. You have this great credit sequence, and then you superimpose over top of these credits the exact same credits that are written on the screen, but in a font, just right over everything. It's unnecessary. It makes you think that the director and the producers were thinking, oh, these movie fans, they won't know that these are the actual credits, so we better put these on to make sure, they're too stupid to know that a stylized credit is still credits. Right here. If that's what you thought, right here. Okay. The next thing you could do to really make this movie better is get rid of all references to the original. Completely. Wipe out every homage that they decide to put in. Stick with original kills. Stick with original scenes. Make it its own story that's a standalone story aside from the original, but reintroducing the character. That could definitely help. And also, one of the biggest things, keep the mystery about Freddy Krueger's innocence. Play it up even something along the lines of, he was planning to go attack kids or whatever, but because he didn't have a chance and the parents killed him, there was some sort of karmic vacuum that caused him to come back. That could work. Another thing is, what I found scary about the original Freddy Krueger was the fact that he was a child killer. It never really mentioned the molestation side. You always sort of knew it was there, but it was always, maybe there's something else going on here. Maybe he has a completely different reason for doing this stuff. Maybe it's something to do with why he ends up becoming able to kill people in dreams. If you take too much away, you lose the originality. That's all I can say. See you next time.